Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 9 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab, scroll down to grade 9 and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter statistics. The lessons we're going to cover today are identify by samples, identify an outlier and describe the effect of removing it, identify an outlier and interpret a scatter plot. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Here I am on grade 9 math chapter. We're going to start with the statistics. Let's just start the first lesson, that is identify by sample. Joseph put the names of all the students into the school into a hat. He drew 50 names out of hat. Is the sample of the students in the school likely to be biased? So in the sample of the students in the school likely to be biased. In a biased sample, some people or items are more likely to be chosen than others. But here he drew 50 names out of the hat. That is simply a random sample that is not likely to be a biased sample. Let's just start with the test questions. Joseph put the names of all the students in the school into a hat. Then he drew 50 names out of the hat. Is the sample of the students in the school likely to be biased? The correct option is no. That is not a biased sample because that is the random sample. To review for the final, Irma did 7 random problems from each assignment In her class, each assignment had an equal number of problems. Is this sample of the problems assigned in the class likely to be biased? 7 random problems for each assignment in her class. So, no, that is not a bias, that is the random sample, not the biased. Yes, no, it is. Jeffrey surveyed 307 business owners in the city. Is the sample of the people in the city likely to be biased? So he surveyed 307 business owners in the city, right? So these 307 business owners are most likely to be different than the others. So yes, that is the biased sample. The correct option is yes. Elizabeth polled the first 72 attendees at a concert. Is this sample of the concert attendees likely to be biased? So the first 72 are more likely to be chosen than others. So that means that is the biased samples. Option number one is the correct option. Kendall surveyed the first 47 celebrities to arrive at the movie premiere. Is the sample of celebrity likely to be biased? So which is the correct option? I think yes, that is also the bias sample, right? Because the first 47 celebrities are more chosen than the others. So yes, that is the bias sample. Relay spoke with the 42 donors who gave the most money. Is the sample of the donors likely to be biased? The correct option is yes, because the 42 donors are the one who gave the most money, so that is the biased sample, right? They are different than the others. Dean polled 200 people throughout each city in his country. Each city is the same size. Is the sample of the residents of the city are in the country likely to be biased? Mm, each city is the same size. 200 people throughout each city in the country. I think that is the random sample, that is not the biased, right? Yes, that is the random sample, not the biased. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is identify an outlier and describe the effect of removing it. Select the outlier in the dataset. If the outlier were removed from the dataset, would the mean increase or decrease? So basically, first thing you need to learn is the outlier, right? An outlier is the extreme value in the dataset that is either much larger or much smaller than the other values. So there is no specific formula to identify the outlier, but the most important thing is if you remove the outlier, there is a effects on the mean or standard deviation, right? So to identify the outlier, you have to look at the data set. The value that is either much larger or much smaller is the outlier. So just look at the values 11, 12, 14, 17, 27, 59, 71, 81, and 921. That is 921 is the outlier because that is the greatest value. The other two values are two-digit numbers, they are less than 100, and that is 921. So 921 is the outlier. And if you remove 921 from the data set, you have to see if the mean is increase or decrease because 921 is much more greater than the other numbers. So if you remove a greatest number, then the mean is decreased. The correct option is decreased. Let's just start with the test questions. Select the outlier in the dataset. If the outlier were removed from the dataset, would the mean increase or decrease? So which is the correct option? So just look at the given data. Here the outlier is 8. The correct option is 8 because 8 is the smallest number. So 8 is the outlier. And if you remove the 8 because 8 is the smallest number, then the rest of the numbers, then the mean is increase. Very good. Option number 1 is the correct option. Select the outlier in the given data set. So which is the correct option? 2. That is also increase because the outlier is 5. 5 is the smallest number among all the numbers. So if you remove the 5, the mean is increased. Select the outlier in data set. 216 is the outlier. If we remove 216, then the mean is decreased. Option number 2 is the correct option. Select the outlier in the dataset. If the outlier were removed from the dataset, would the mean increase or decrease? That is also decreased because the outlier is 567. That is the greatest number. If you remove a greatest number, then the mean is decreased. The correct option is decrease. Select the outlier in the data set. So which is the correct option? Decrease it is. Option number 2 is the correct option. The correct option is decrease. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is identify an outlier. Let's just start with the lesson. So we have already learned what are outliers and how do we identify them. Basically, outliers are the numbers that are either much larger or much smaller than all the other values. Let's just start with the test questions. Select the outlier in the data set. So which is the correct option? That is 763 option. The last option is the correct option. Select the outlier in the data set. That is 663. The last option is the correct option. That is 215. The last option is the correct option. The outlier is 282. The last option is the correct option. Select the outlier in the dataset. That is 834. I think you can complete the lesson on your own. That is too easy. Let's just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is interpret a scatter plot. Does this scatter plot show a positive trend, a negative trend, or no trend? So this plot shows no trend. Look at the scatter plot. There is no obvious pattern. As x increases, y does not tend to increase or decrease. The scatter plot shows no trend. As scatter plot shows a positive trend, if y tends to increase as x increases, that would be the positive trend. A scatter plot shows the negative trend if y tends to decrease as x increases. And a scatter plot shows no trend if there is no obvious pattern. Let's just start with the test questions. Does the scatter plot shows the positive trend, negative trend, or no trend? The graph shows the positive trend. As the x values are increasing, the y values are also increasing, so the graph shows the positive trend. This scatter plot show a positive trend, a negative trend, or no trend. That is negative trend. As x increasing, y values are decreasing, so that is the negative trend. Very good. The correct option is negative. Does the graph show the scatter plot, positive trend or a negative trend? That's the same graph we did as the last question, right? The correct option is negative trend. The x values are increasing and the y values are decreasing. So the graph shows the negative trend. Does the scatter plot shows a positive trend, negative trend, or no trend? So which is the correct option? Positive trend. I think no trend it is. Okay, let's see. Positive trend it is. Positive trend it is. Option number one is the correct option. No trend it is. The correct option is no trend. That is the positive trend. That is positive trend. That is no trend. That is the negative trend. The correct option is negative trend. Option number two is the correct option. Okay, we are done with the lesson. So we were working on grade 9 math. Chapter we're working on is statistics. The lessons we have covered today are identify by samples, identify an outlier and describe the effect of removing it, identify an outlier and interpret a scatter plot. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did that till next session. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you. Or either you can write down the questions in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So you can please ask questions for which you need help. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. Any questions you can please ask. No questions.